We're going to kick off with an exercise in perspective. When we start a hope-based strategy workshop in person, we ask people to get up out of their seats and go to one side of the room or the other, depending on how strongly they feel about an answer to a question. And the first question we always start with is the world getting better or is the world getting worse? We're going to do this now. I'm going to ask you to take a piece of paper and write down 3 reasons why the world is getting worse. Then write down 3 reasons why the world is getting better. You can pause the video and do it now. Which one was easier to do? I'm going to guess what came to mind first was the reasons the world is getting worse. Often when we do this exercise in person, a lot of people move to the side of the room feeling it's getting worse, and they talk about the conflicts and the crises and the suffering and the hateful politicians that seem to dominate news headlines right now. This is happening because of negativity bias. Things that are bad stand out to us more. Our brain's job is to keep us safe, so we focus more on the negative than the positive. And also recency, the things that happened most recently. The way the news is designed to focus on crisis might make us miss progress that's happening in the world away from news headlines. When we do this exercise, there are people who move to the other side of the room and say, if we take a step back, we see that over time we have actually made a lot of progress. People might say, look at the solidarity that we're seeing around the world about a given crisis or genocide, for example. Then there are the people who stay in the middle and say, it depends. And they're the ones who've cracked the secret lesson of this exercise, which is that narrative is about perspective. The people on both sides of the room, the people who say the world is getting better or worse, actually both right. Everything they say is true. The point is, it's a choice about what perspective we choose to take in the moment. This matters because the way we decide to frame the story influences how people will act. Our negativity bias risks blinding us to the change that's happening and pulling that into our strategy. It's really important, if we want people to take action, that people know that change is possible. Change has happened in the past, and that change in the past happened because people made it happen, and that means we can again make change happen now. The story we tell influences the action we take. I myself used to be a very fear-based thinker. I would be the person right up against the far wall, everything is getting worse, even though I'm a historian. Then I started reading some of the books that really made a fact-based case showing falls in crime levels day to day, changes in medicine or in poverty. But above all, it was Catherine Sicking's book, Evidence for Hope, which made a very rational, clear case that the human rights movement is actually effective and has achieved a lot of progress. That made me start thinking about hope. Hope not just as a feeling, but as a way of thinking. What Sicking says is actually coming back to that negativity bias and recency bias is in human rights, we are constantly focused on the worst things happening in the world right now. And that reinforces a sense that human nature is bad, but also that our movement is failing, because every day we see all the bad things happening and we very rarely focus on the progress or the places where human rights is actually working and then there are no violations taking place. It's also very bad for our own well-being, for avoiding burnout, if we let that negativity bias make us think we're not effective, that we're failing. It's also bad for our strategy. In the hope-based approach, we believe that there is a correlation between our sense of is the world getting better or worse and our ability to think differently. Cognitive flexibility. Are we able to adapt new tactics? Are we able to be innovative? We are trying to build this hope-based mindset so that we are able to stay resilient in dark times, but also to adopt the tactics that will help us make things better. If change happened before, we can make it happen again.